Okay, let's talk about this flower, how to draw this flower. So the first step, what I see is I want to map it out and put all the flower, I mean like bunch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunch. 5 bunches of flower on the right place and right size. So I'm just I got a paper, a rectangle paper. Then I'm just place that, okay, that about that big and that about that big. So you see the distance. This one's behind that, right? And this one is kind of like that big. Just place it first, very roughly place it. So, because if you don't care about how this goes, you can just do that, but it doesn't look good, right? So if you like this picture, how the goes, then it just place it, map it. So that's very easy for the first step. Then the second step, okay, so the second step is I'm trying to literally copies all those flowers. Like if they have like 20, I'm just going to do 20, right? So literally I'm just starting the first flower. And see if you had a circle, right? So okay, I'm going to start the first one, which I'm going to place right here. So the size is very important when you place the flower, the first one. If your size is wrong, like see if you place a size like this, then you pretty soon you're going to find out like, oh my god, I can't fit all the flowers, because it's not can't fit, I'm sorry, it's like it's too much room, and the whole thing will be very small. It will be like this, and you're done with all the flowers, right? Or you made it too big of it, then you can't fit it. Like, here's the flower, then you made the one very big, then this one you got this one here, right here, like, oh my god, I can't fit, right? So that's what I meant, like the first flower. Look like where you put it and how big that is. Then you can later on you can go out or in a little bit, like the oval or circle, it doesn't matter, because this is just kind of a rough, how big that is. So you can go a little bit over or in, but not too much. If too much, you get so confused. So see, that's what I'm placing this. That's about that. And that's about that one, I think. Yeah, see, that's here. There's two here. See, if you just, it's very easy if you just, look this and look at that, and where's the start, where's the end. Each one is just like you're drawing grapes, and you will place it. It's not too many. Okay, so the same thing happened as those two, right? Same thing happened. So that's a general. See, I'm making this over. It doesn't matter, okay? So that's the circle, I made it over. And that's the oval, I made it over a lot. So it doesn't matter, a little bit doesn't matter. Okay, that's the second step. First step, replace the big one. Second step, place the flower. When drawing, there's two ways of drawing drawing stuff. Like, you can start with detail. Okay, see, if you want to start, you can literally start with one flower, like that one, right? You can literally just finish one flower. Then you're doing another one. See, where does this start? where this one goes. You can literally draw like that. But this way, it's kind of hard for beginners because when you start with detail, when you start from detail, it's you needed to pay more attention about the overall shape. Because if one spot you made it wrong, see if you finish this flower, you didn't literally see where this start. If you start right here, right, then everything going to be different. Got it? Then all those flowers going to be lower. Then everything else is wrong. So that's kind of hard for beginners because sometimes they make mistakes. So it's better for you map it out so you kind of know exactly where you're going to place those flowers later on. And so after I place the flower, that's what I did. I'm drawing the flower. And when you're drawing the flower, look my line. See, I didn't do it I saw those very stiff line, like, like a wire, okay? Like there's no rhythm in there. It's like a wire, okay? And even you want to draw like one line and not very sketchy, you also should draw it with dark, light. See the difference? Then this. See the difference between these two? This give it more, so the dark part you think, oh, maybe that's the shady part, right? Give it more life than those stiff lines. Okay, it's have a rhythm. The line have a rhythm with it. Okay, so that's how I did the flower. See, it's pretty detailed, right? Even get the crack here. So that's what I do. I placed everything. So 1, 2, 3. I just drew that 3 one over there. Then I keep doing. See, I had this 3 before. I just keep adding it. At the same time, I start shading off a little bit. See the shading? So that's the casting shadow here. I made a shadow. That's in the shadow. I made that part shadow, right? I can still see my very messy line under. That's okay. Keep shading it. See, shading it. I'm drawing it and shading it at the same time. This whole flower going to be dark later because it's behind that. This is in front of that flower. So yeah, and look at the lines, how I did the line. And make shadow like this flowers on top of that, so that's the shadow over there. And yeah, keep doing like this one, right? Those flowers going to be darker later. That's the top one, top flower. Okay, so that was the first layer I did. Now I start to shade background because all the shapes, right? Because the background is so dark, that's why you see all the shapes of that flower. So I'm just making the background darker, get the shapes of those flowers, right? And contour shape. And see, when I'm doing that, I'm finish more shading on this because the flower is round, right? It's not a flat. It's not a flat flower. The flower is a bunch going this way, right? So when going this way, this part going to be in the shade, right? See the whole thing? And that's light and then goes to dark. So this part is the dark part. That's the lighter part. So make the flower like oval shape, like not oval shape, like round shape. Okay, it's not a flat, it's round. That's why you see this part, the whole part is lighter, darker than that. Okay, so that's why I made those darker so the flowers can turn to the other side. Very, very important. And the hardest for bunch of flower is people only see the individual flower, don't see the whole shadow. Okay, the round, all flower are round, right? And you don't see a flat flower. So the even they have lots of thing going on, but the dark side has to be in the darker side. The lighter side has to be in the lighter side. Even they have in the lighter side, they might have something darker, and even darker side, and they might have some lighter, right? But the overall, you have to have the dark side and light side. Then you see the flower is three-dimensional. Okay, that's what I'm getting this part darker, because that's in the shade, right? That's how you do this three-dimensional. And also pay attention is, see, I didn't literally draw every line here, because some part is very blurry. You can't really see in this picture, right? Even I blow up this much, it's still kind of blurry. If it's blurry, make blurry. Okay, so it goes in. Not every flower, some flower comes out, some flower faded in. That's what your eyes see. If you see a realistic picture, like very, very realistic picture, like photorealistic, I always can identify as a photograph or a painting. The reason for that, if I see a painting, everywhere is clear. That's a painting. Photograph, you like people's eyes, they only can focus on one part. The other parts, they're going to get a little bit blurry. Not like blurry, but not that sharp. Because if you painting, whenever you focus on looking that part, that's going to be clear, because you just literally stare that part. You see, you look at that part, you look more, the more clear, you look more, the more clear. So the blurry part, when you stare at it, they're going to be clear. So that's why when a photorealistic painting, they always like so detailed, because the artist keep looking at those parts one by one. They can't see everything, right? But a camera cannot even do that. Okay, done with that. Okay, see, I'm keeping getting this part darker. You can tell, because I want this go to back. This flower goes out, that flower goes to back in the shadow. And I also made more detail on that. And I want to talking about this, see, even this. And don't make it too, just like that, okay? Too flat, too simple. Make it, see all my thing, make it dark. Some are dark, some are light. Make it more lively, okay? Natural, all right? When you're shading, there's no part to just make it same flat gray. You have to be more like, have value. Some dark, some light. Okay, I was working on this. That's why I'm taking a close picture. So I'll see that's in the shadow. I just try to see those are in the shadow. Those are in the shadow, right? So that flower, those flower in the front. And yeah, that's what I try to do. And those flower, I can't really see the shape anymore because they turn to the other way. It doesn't look like this anymore, right? It's just more like a random shape. So that's why you do that. And do not draw a flower like this. Okay, that's not right, right? Because it's going to turn to the other side. The flower going to be also flat, like more random shape, and you not really recognize it as a flower shape, but that is flower. This, okay, so I'm done with that. I'm finishing the background, just finishing the background. Get the part darker, need to be darker, get a little darker. And after that, I'm even darker some parts of it, like all those I'm darkened it. All those I'm darkened it. So in drawing, I don't know, last class I talked about this, but this video I'm going to talk again. Okay, drawing has a rhythm. Okay, the rhythm is from fast to slow. Okay, the reason is in the beginning you have to draw it, 大胆的画, okay? Be brave, just draw it. Then you start fixing stuff, right? When you're fixing stuff, first you have to figure out like, oh, which part is correct, which part is wrong. Then we'll slow down your pace, right? Then you figure out, okay, here now is 50% correct, 50% is wrong. So I'm going to find out which part I'm not going to touch because that's the right one, and some part is wrong. I'm going to, or not wrong, or need to draw more. Then you draw that part, right? Then later on you go, okay, 70% down, 30% left. Okay, what I do, I'm going to do that 30%. Okay, then that's why you slow your pace down and take a look which part you need to add on more. Okay, and in the end of it, 叫画龙点睛. Okay, in the end of it, what you do is look at it, find the darkest part and the lightest part. Let the lightest part be the lightest part, let the darkest part be the darkest part, which you have to darken more, right? So you have a dark and light contrast that make the picture more sharp, more stand out. Okay, so this thing is very interesting. This part I did the very shadowy leaves. Leaves is kind of in the shadow, so it's pretty dark. So how I did that is I used, see, those colors, basic the leaves color. So I used the let me get a black. I used the background color shading to get the shape of the leaves like that. That's what I did. So I shaded that part dark so I can see that leaves, right? See, that's a leaf. That's a leaf, so I probably get that part darker. That part darker. So I see that leaf. I can add a little bit more in on the leaf if you want. I'll give it a little bit of dimension. Okay, that's what I did. So you can see on the next picture, which is here. See all the leaves. I put this darker so you can show that leaves, and it's very blurry in the shadow leaves, so you don't need to bring it out. Okay, the most important thing is later on you shade it, you want all the flower turns. See, all the turns. This turns to here, that turns to here, because this flower literally is like a cauliflower, right? Kind of like cauliflower, so they're round. You don't want to make it flat, okay, on the top, so it turns. That's what I want to get in the end. And also just, some part are dark, make it dark in the end. Okay, hope you enjoy it.